thumbs up and subscribe if you're new. This is the way.
Long before the wars, there was a man who walked among the stars. He knew the incredible power of the Force. He used it, he taught it, and died to preserve it for the good of all three worlds.
You're watching Star Wars Weekly Live Chat with The Force is with Jesse. The Force is with you always.
Hello there. Hope everyone's doing well. Thanks for tuning in. I know I'm in a different location this time, but I hope everyone can hear and see me all right. Already got 9-10 people here. That's awesome. Thank you all for coming and hanging out tonight. Really excited about tonight. Sorry I didn't get to do one last week. I had a few other things pop up, so I'm here. And I don't know whether we'll talk about the 5th episode as much as we will the finale, just because I don't know. I've been on a real high. I already did a 2nd episode podcast with my new podcast at work. So we recorded that just a couple of hours ago. So I am very much in the zone to talk some Star Wars. So I'm glad everyone's coming in to hang out tonight. Let's see who's here. We've got Collecting Unleashed. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for coming and hanging out. Jurassic Animations. Hello there. Hello there. It is the phrase that pays this week, isn't it? Darth Muzzer, g'day, mate. Great to chat with you the other day with the crew, Universal Shabby Reviews crew. That was a really good stream last weekend. That was a lot of fun. So yeah, hope you can all hear me okay. G'day, Michael. Thanks for tuning in. Awesome series, and the finale duel was epic. It was something special, man. It was something special. I cried through most of it. I was sobbing, and then I watched it again, and I'd sob some more. Usual Mike's here. How's it going, dude? Thanks for coming and hanging out, man. Hi, Linda. Hope you're doing well. Hope you would love to hear what you thought of the episode. General Jesse, you are a bold one. That's why I wear the hat, dude. Yeah, there's nothing up here. Hey, we're close. Me and Tony Daniels, we're close. So it's, he was always happy to chip in his vocal stylings of C-3PO. Hey man, how's it going? Everyone's in the house tonight. This is awesome. Thank you all so much. So yeah, really pumped. So yeah, please go ahead. I want to hand the conversation over to you guys. Like otherwise, it's just going to be me just foaming at the mouth about the finale of Obi-Wan Kenobi. I loved it. I really did. Like I just feel like it is the perfect bridge between episodes 3 and 4. And I don't think we need a second season. If anything, I'd like to see some more flashback adventures. I think that would be cool if we're going to see more Obi-Wan Kenobi and Hayden Christensen. I think there's plenty of room for more. But yeah, in terms of trying to tell more stories in between all this series and A New Hope, I just don't know if there's anything that needs to be really told right now. I think that just sort of wrapped it up beautifully. And, it was just a perfect ending, in my opinion. While leaving some story threads for the future with like Reva. Obviously, she's going to move on and do her own thing. So that's really cool. I'm interested to see what they do with that character and how they're going to continue her story. And hopefully a little bit more than just comics. So I'm not a big fan. I was sort of gone off the comics a little bit in the last sort of 12 months, mainly because I can't keep up. But something about the comics. It just doesn't the level of canon doesn't sit with me as much as it did like a few years ago. I just think it's a little bit over the top, but that's okay. You know, you can carry it or you don't have to. It's all good. It's all good. Blue Harvest Toys. G'day, mate. Hope you're doing well too. Good to hear from you. Everyone else just saying their hellos, which is fantastic. Wonder what happens to Lola. That is a good question. Maybe she gets absorbed into RTD. Oh, who knows? Hopefully people buy all the toys. Where are we? Go. What do you know? The reason for Reva's earlier behavior is explained and justified. If only people would stuck with it. I know, right? Talk about jumping the gun. All you had to do was finish the story and you would understand and get that broader picture painted. Yeah, I think she had a great story. I really enjoyed Reva's story. It was a nice sort of way to, sort of counterbalance with Obi-Wan and his sort of quest for closure, I guess, and sort of hers coming from the other side. And it's one of the first times we've seen like a Jedi survivor that's gone the other way, sort of thing. You know what I'm trying to say, right? But yeah, I thought it was a really good story. I'm really interested to sort of see where it picks up for her going forward. I don't think we're definitely not done with her, that's for sure. She's chosen her path, and Obi-Wan was very much, I think, as most of us watching, I think, I think it's just a good way to sort of wrap up that sort of part of her story. And it wasn't a typical redemption arc. It was actually quite good. It was, I'm sure some more thoughts will come to me as I talk, but it's just having trouble stringing the words together right this moment. Is it just me waiting for Vader to say, I have the high ground? I think that would have been a little bit overkill if they'd done that. But yeah, that would have been interesting to see if they did that. I mean, I think it was visually implied, but without actually having to go to the effort of saying, I have the high ground. I have the high ground. Yeah. With you there, Jeff and Ian. No patience. It's just that's what a lot of people have been saying, and a lot of people have been sort of talking about that. And everyone's been spoiled by the whole Netflix method, which is just to dump everything at once, and you watch a season in a night, and then it's done. But it's now we're at that point, like that happens so quickly with the whole streaming thing that Netflix will drop a season in a day, everyone watches it in a day, and then there's just like, oh, what's next? What's the next thing? It's just this instant gratification. Whereas a weekly drop, it's what we've grew up with, as kids. We had to wait three years for a Star Wars movie to come out, and then the television viewing was week to week. Excuse me. Maybe Lola ends up with Ben when he's a kid. Interesting. Love Reva and the path to show up in other series. Me too, Jeff. I think that's definitely it'd be definitely interesting to sort of see the way the path sort of tie into Andor even. Andor's probably still like a few years into the future here, where we're smack bang in the middle of 3 and 4. I feel like Andor is probably closer to that 4 end. But yeah, I wouldn't be silly to sort of, I'd love to see that sort of the path, sort of saving Jedi and escorting them into different things, different areas of the galaxy, and renaming them and giving them new lives. Just I think Caleb Doom, great one. Excuse me. It's been a day. New series title idea, The Path. Definitely. I could see something happening there. Even if it's a limited series, bring back Ice Cube Jr. and Hey Jesse, love the Kenobi finale. For a kid of the prequel era, is everything I could have hoped for. My favorite part was when we saw Anakin behind the mask. That part broke me. I was right there with you. It absolutely shattered me. Just sort of, and it was definitely Hayden under their mask there. Like, it was no stunt person. It was no puppet. It was Hayden in makeup, and I love that. I think it was just a visual and audio, like the sound of him talking and it sort of breaking voice between Anakin and Vader, and that was just such an intense moment of just the pain and the pain and anger in Anakin at that point, to the point where that's where Vader really does just takes on that Vader persona, and announces Anakin's death to Obi-Wan. And Obi-Wan just has that closure now to be able to move on and, accept that Anakin, his best friend, is gone and he's dead at that point. So when we see Obi-Wan later talking to Leia, he's mentioning that her parents were, fantastic people. And I love that. Like, he's always going to have that memory of Anakin. You get to Return of the Jedi. Anakin was a good friend. And it's just like, oh man, that just breaks your heart, doesn't it? Ticked all the boxes for me. Yep. Me too, my friend. Me too. Obi-Wan could appear in the Reva series. I'd like to dive deeper into Vader's mind in this era. Yeah, era. I gotcha. So maybe a Vader series. I think a Vader series would be really cool. Just to explore the Imperial side a little bit more. There's just endless possibilities. It's crazy. I can't. There's all the talk of Cal Kestis, Cameron Monaghan sort of signing on for a live-action Cal Kestis Jedi Fallen Order series. That'd be incredible. Lot to do there and see, and it's been a week, guys. I apologize. I really do. It has been a week. If I got my glasses back on, it might help. Says, who would you like to see from the Kenobi show being made into an action figure we don't have yet announced? Ooh, that is a very good question. Owen and Baru. Just make them happen. Owen, if you're going to go one, I'd go for Owen. I think that's a no-brainer. Who else? Yeah, I'd go for Owen Lars. He hasn't had a figure since 2007, or no, maybe 2009, which I think when they did that Infinities pack, which it wasn't Joe Edgerton Owen. It was an older Owen. So yeah, I'm going to go with Uncle Owen. With Gunji in the Bad Batch trailer, I could see the path showing up there. That's true. All this interlinking material is incredible. I'm interested to sort of see how much further forward the Bad Batch continues on. Is it like a year later? Is it a couple of years later? Looks to me like a time has definitely passed. So The Jedi imposter, Haja. Yeah, he'll get a figure. They've already got his head sculpt from his character from Eternals, so they could just use that because it wasn't a lot of difference. But no, I think they'll get to him for sure. Black Series Flea figure. Yeah, a lot of Chili Peppers fans out there would be after that, I'm sure. Hayden is in the Ahsoka series. Do you think it's for flashbacks or maybe more Vader? My thought is probably more Force Ghost, more Spirit of Anakin, more so than anything. But yeah, I dare say flashbacks. Vader's gone at this point in time, so yeah, I'm going to say flashbacks and/or Force Ghost. I think that's the. Yeah, I think that's sort of my idea. That's kind of my thoughts on what if we're going to see him in the Ahsoka series, which he apparently has signed on. So I think it's really important to address that sort of post Return of the Jedi, Ahsoka meeting Luke. I think we're going to get all that in Ahsoka in either a first or second series. Like that's going to be more than one series, I think. Like Ahsoka has the potential to be a ongoing series. I think that'd be fantastic. Subtle original Star Wars film reference. Obi-Wan at the end of the duel says goodbye, Darth. Only a master of evil, Darth. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. I think I definitely did pick that out, and it was cool because it was like, okay, Obi-Wan at this point has fully acknowledged that Anakin is dead, so he's not going to try. He's not going to call him Anakin anymore. It's Darth, you know. Owen and Baru were badass in the finale. Didn't expect it, but loved it. No, me neither. I thought they were going to use Reva similar to what they used Darth Maul in a comic called Visionaries, where Maul finds out about Luke somehow, and he goes and invades the farm. Basically, has a duel with Obi-Wan, but Owen is the one to kill Maul. He just blows him with a shotgun. That would have been pretty awesome. But what did everyone feel like Kenobi as a series as a whole? Like, my plan for my next day off is to get all the episodes together, edit them into one long movie. Like, that's my sort of plan at the moment. So it's not something I'm going to be able to put on YouTube. It'd probably just be for personal viewing. Look at upload it and make it private somehow. I don't know. I'm not sure if that's possible. And then just give out the link to people to watch. I'd be interested to sort of see if I can work something like that out, because I'd really like to sort of sit and edit all those 6 episodes together into big one long movie. Because when it comes up with the time length on the episode page, it's including 15 minutes of credits every time. So I'd like to give that a shot. I really would. Flea figure would be great. Back to the Future crossover. Baru, Owen, and Luke would be great figures. Maybe a 3-pack. Yeah, like a vintage collection 3-pack. In Black Series, I'd like to see Luke and Leia as well. Like little Luke and little Leia. I reckon that'd be cool. That'd be really good. Flea's character's name is Vex Nokru. Weird one. It's Star Wars, man. They're all weird. They should have just called him Flea. Because that's a weird one as it is. Like it says, I binged the whole series last night. It's awesome to watch like that. Nice. Yeah, I definitely want to edit them all together into one. I'm not sure how long that would be. Probably close to 3 hours. It'd have to be close to 3 hours. Maybe even 3.5 hours, I reckon, would sort of take all that together. Anyone have any sort of thoughts of missed opportunities? I've always thought from Revenge of the Sith, if I always thought at the end there he should have pulled his hood up and walked into the desert before meeting him in A New Hope and removing his hood. But it turned out the practical purpose of that was because they shot that during Attack of the Clones, that last scene of Revenge of the Sith with Obi-Wan handing the baby to Owen Abaru. They did that during filming for Attack of the Clones. So that's why they covered up his longer hair. So it didn't ruin the continuity of Revenge of the Sith. So George had the foresight for that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think that's such a bad thing anymore that they've cut that off. What did everyone think of Qui-Gon? Qui-Gon Jinn. That was incredible. That was a crazy, crazy moment and completely changed the way we see Force Ghosts now, which is really, really cool. Like we've always wondered, like Qui-Gon, the last time we saw him canonically was sort of in the Clone Wars, where he wasn't able to show himself to Yoda. So now we're at the point where it's more of a case of Force spirits are always there, but you need to have that. You need to have the Force power to be able to see them as well, which explains why at the end of A New Hope, Luke can only hear Obi-Wan, and then he's a vague apparition on Hoth, and then in Return of the Jedi, Obi-Wan can basically just come and sit on a log next to Luke and have a chat with him. So it's as Luke's powers progress, he's able to see them more clearly. So I think that's what we got here. Like, I think we're really sort of showing that Obi-Wan wasn't able to conjure up that because he wasn't ready to see it. Like Qui-Gon says, he's always here, just wasn't ready to see it. Didn't really need to see any more of Qui-Gon. I think that was fine. I think we get the point of what's going to happen there. That we don't need to see training. But I'd definitely be interested to sort of see more of that sort of Force stuff in the future. But I don't necessarily think we need to see Qui-Gon training Obi-Wan on Tatooine. But it was cool. I think it was implied. It was sort of showed exactly what's going to happen there as they walk off into the desert together. Like, he's going to teach him how to become more powerful than anyone could possibly imagine. Ian says, overall, I enjoyed the series. I felt its limitations were mostly down to the television format, and I was prepared for that, so I wasn't underwhelmed. I'm with you there, absolutely. Like, you can definitely tell it's on a TV budget. I know everyone's argument is that Disney should just pump money into it and make it a cinematic event, but, they've got to have budget restraints as well for TV. They've still got to get a return on the series, If it's, I dare say, with subscriber numbers and stuff like that, they'll make the money back and it'll be fine. But yeah, you don't want to overcapitalize. You can't just dump money. I don't know. You're not going to make a return. At the end of the day, Disney's a business. They need to make money off of what they're doing, and they can't just put in their all for it. Whereas a film budget of a 2.5 hour film, you've got that ability, but for a 6-episode series at 45 minutes a piece, 50 minutes a piece, you've got to find a good balance, and I think they've done that. You've got to kind of look past those sort of budgetary restraints. Like, sometimes you can really tell that the volume is there, like they're working on the volume. You can really tell sometimes, and that just could be because we've seen back behind the scenes stuff and we're aware of that. But yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing at all. Like, go and watch A New Hope again. Like, some of the effects in that are still pretty rough. So if anything, they've maybe done that by design. I don't know. Maybe they've, I felt that at the start when the Star Destroyer was chasing down the little cruiser, I felt that looked a little bit like rickety. But it was very much in the same vein as the Tantive 4 getting chased down. Some of those scenes were some of those shots of the Tantive getting hit were a little bit, wobbly model. But it's not a bad thing at all. You just got to be able to look past that and focus on the character and the story. And, what Ewan did with Obi-Wan in this series was, incredible, emotional. It was heavy. It was deep. It was, Yeah, I think it was just brilliant, really brilliant. Like Obi-Wan Kenobi, some of Ewan's stuff that he did in that, like when Reva told him that Anakin was still alive, like his face just it was so, like, he was so just haunted by that news. And then even again when he cried, uh, you know, saying sorry to Anakin, just saying I'm sorry for everything that happened. That was beautiful, just really well done. And all the physical work that they did for the duel, everything. There's just you got to focus in on that stuff and not the dodgy looking backgrounds that occasionally happens. One of my pet peeves would have been, I would have liked to see more alien life on Tatooine, in those scenes, but not to be. It's all good. It's fine. We sort of go, okay, well, that's Anchorhead, and maybe Anchorhead's a more human populated little town. So you got to roll with that. Jeff loved Qui-Gon, what I was hoping for. Me too, man. I don't think we need to see anything more or anything less. I think that was just perfect cue. Did what it needed to do. It was an unfortunate thing that got cut from Revenge of the Sith. Not so much cut, but they didn't get to film it because Liam was in a motorcycle accident or something like that, and was unable to shoot for Revenge of the Sith. And with their deadline, they just couldn't get it in the film. So they're making good on those things now. Some of those little holes that the prequels sort of, for whatever reason, were left out. But it's all good. It's all good. We just got to have fun with it, ride the wave, enjoy it. I was kind of hoping they'd do something similar they did in the Vader comics and get like a ghost vision of Padme with Vader, potentially something to venture into if we get a Vader series. Possibly. I don't know. I kind of feel like, for me personally, I feel like Vader / Anakin sort of really pushed that aside, like buried those feelings deep down at the end of Revenge of the Sith when he found out that he'd killed her. He wouldn't sit there like in some of the comics where you see Vader sitting there like in his head in his hands. I don't think we'd see that. Honestly, don't. I think he's past that. But definitely an interesting idea. Qui-Gon was done well, not over the top, just enough to put a smile on your face. Absolutely. I'd like to get Obi-Wan on his EOP as a Black Series. Oh, yeah, man. Bring that on. Like the Dewback set they did a few years ago. That'd be just prime for Black Series. And have a little farty action on the back. Little squeezy button and you get... Hasbro has to make an Obi-Wan with EOP TVC now. Old EOPs are so expensive. They are. They really are. Yeah, definitely going to get one. Definitely going to make that happen. Wonder if Obi needed closure with Anakin Vader to see Qui-Gon. Why could he not see him until he knew Anakin was still alive? Yeah, well, that's kind of what I think. Like, because he was still carrying that weight of guilt. He wasn't able to open himself up fully to the Force because he was so emotional, so reliant on those emotional attachments. And when he found out that Anakin was basically dead at the hands of Vader, he was able to let that personal attachment go. Still have good memories and reminisce, but he didn't have those feelings of guilt. So he knew it wasn't totally at fault for that. Yeah, it's about being able to open yourself up for it, I think, more so than anything, like being able to open yourself up to the Force in a more compassionate way. I think that really sort of brings about that ability to see a Force ghost, to be able to see Qui-Gon. cameo I'd have liked would have been the background shot of like Sivrak. That'd be cool, man. That'd be cool. I think, yeah, just a little bit of a cool tie-in. Like we don't need to see like Ponda Baba or anything like that anymore. Just a nice little nod. I think that would have been cool. I think Obi blocked the Force for so long he wasn't able to see him until he returned back to his Jedi self. Very much like what happens with Luke. You know, cuts himself off from the Force, and the moment he opens himself up to it again, he's able to see Yoda, and Yoda's able to give him his last lesson. And yeah, that's exactly what happened here. It's, you know, it's that sort of, what did they call it a few years ago? Someone had this whole idea of, it was like ring theory or something like that, and it was all sort of joined, and there's, you know, a lot of rhyming sort of patterns throughout Star Wars and the stories. But yeah, I still find the relationship between Ben and Leia and what he was able to do for her was enough for her to remember him and give her son his name, like Ben Solo. I love that so much. I love the you know, Obi-Wan sort of apologizing there, saying, you know, sorry, Anakin, I didn't mean for sorry for everything that happened. It's the same as, you know, Luke saying sorry to Kylo Ren. He's like, I'm sorry, Ben. He said, I failed you, Ben. I'm sorry. Like, I'm sure you are. There's all these sort of things. They sort of rhyme together beautifully. I love it. I liked him calling him Darth. Yeah, that was great. Hello there. Yes, that was. We're all waiting for it. There was that moment in the second or third episode where they're on the other planet and they get on the back of the truck and Leia's like, "Say hello, Father," and he's just like, "Hello," and you're just waiting for the there, and it didn't happen. So yeah, perfect moment at the end there. That was just such a heartwarming moment when Owen called out to Ben and was like, "You want to meet him?" I was just like, oh, beautiful moment. Really, really, really nice. Smiles all around, man. Smiles all around. Oh, number one wanted flashback for the Ahsoka series would be a live-action version or even small snippet of the Vader versus Ahsoka duel from Rebels. Speaking of that, I love what people have come up with, that idea that when Obi-Wan dueled Vader, he took off the left side of his mask. He was able to slice that open. And when Ahsoka dueled him, she took off the right. But the only one that was able to take off the whole helmet was Luke. And I love that. That's just a beautiful analogy of, you know, they weren't quite able to break through to Anakin and pull him out. But Luke was able to take that helmet off and pull Anakin out and, you know, redeem him. Or Anakin redeemed himself. But I just love that idea, that symbolic sort of thing of the helmet, you know, really sort of breaking one side, breaking on the other side, and then Luke being able to fully remove it and free Anakin from his identity as Vader. That was nice. That was really good. Yeah, I thought there might have been a little bit more of like, you know, musically, I thought there would be a little bit more like Anakin versus Obi-Wan from Mustafar, but I felt that was a little bit, I need to watch them again just to really say, all right, I'm going to watch this for the sole purpose of listening to the music. I also liked how Luke was told Tuscans attacked and he left the farm just before Reva came in with her saber. So episode 4 still makes sense about him not knowing lightsabers of the Force. Also might lose memory from hitting his head while running from Reva. Definitely. I think that's, you know, a good idea. You know, I don't think there's anything wrong with that idea. I think it makes sense. You know, you make it up in your head. Like, I don't like Luke having like a red lightsaber lady in black, like chasing around the farm. Like, I think, yeah, he won't remember that. I think the knock to the head was enough for that, definitely. So that's a great idea. I like that. I can run with that. I feel like I missed a couple of comments, but no, I don't think I have. But yeah, no, it was a very, very cool comment. I like that a lot. But yeah, did a second episode of a podcast today as well. So stay tuned for that. I'll put a link in the description. Actually, I might try and do it now. I'll try and do that now while I'm here on this video as it's going live on YouTube. See if I can edit it. Let me have a look here. Just bear with me for a couple of minutes here, guys. So, I'm going to ask all a little favor. And right at the top of the description in this video, as I'm putting it in right now, and hopefully it shows up live while I'm live. So we'll have to wait and see if you guys can find it. So yeah, it's just in the description of the video. That'll take you to the Kess Run Here and Collectibles YouTube channel. Hit the subscribe button. All right. So we've got one episode up. We put up about 2 weeks ago, almost a bit over a week ago now. The second episode will come out early next week. So stay tuned to all the website, the social medias for Kessel Run Here and Collectibles. That's where I work. That's what I do. And yeah, we're doing a Star Wars podcast that I'm pretty much moderating and editing and all that. And, you know, it's an absolute pleasure to be doing it. I love podcasting. I love what I do here on YouTube. It's good to go back to doing a podcast with the guys, and we talk about it all day anyway. So if you could all go and just check on, let me know if it's there, because I can't tell from where I am at the moment. But that should take you to that channel. And if you subscribe, that would be sweet. We've got 12 subscribers on there. It's a new channel. It's a fresh channel. It hasn't been up for very long. So yeah, we're just trying to hopefully increase a little bit of traffic over to there and get some more people listening to the podcast. The first episode, the audio isn't great. Like, we're doing it from a shop and it's in a shopping center. So you getting a lot of background noise, but I think we're just going to work on ironing it out each week, trying to find ways to improve the audio and the editing and all that sort of stuff. And we're keeping it pretty just casual, low key, you know, keeping it us. So it's got a lot of fun at the moment. And I'm going to put it in. I'll put a link here as well in the chat. So if you could all go and subscribe to that, that'd be so good. I'd appreciate that big time. So has anyone picked up anything? Anyone found any of the new Obi-Wan Kenobi toys yet? I'm really, really pumped for those figures, man. Like, there's just so many of them coming. And I'm losing money just thinking about it. But it's so good. I love some of the figures that are coming out. They look great. Awesome. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. That is fantastic. I love it. So what are we waiting for now? We're waiting for Bad Batch. We're waiting for Andor. That's this year, I think. Don't think we're getting anything else this year, but that's, you know, the fact that we're getting 2 more Star Wars shows this year is ridiculous. And just pumping up. You'll be watching Kenobi again and again and again for quite a long time, I think. Like, that's going to be an essential viewing if you're watching a movie. If you're watching the movies 1 through 6 or 1 through 9 or whatever, I think it's going to be a must. It's going to be a must-have, must-watch every time, especially if I can edit it down to a nice single video. I reckon that'd be great. So Yeah, stay tuned for that because I'll try and find a way to get it out to everyone so you can just watch Obi-Wan Kenobi in one hit, as if it's like meant to be a mega movie or something. I reckon that'd be a great time. Just trying to think of something else I wanted to mention because I'm just having a complete brain fart now. It's 8:30 on a Friday night, which is past my bedtime. Oh, having grown up with the original series, the biggest compliment I can pay the Obi-Wan series is that for an Anakin Force Ghost, the Black Series figure, I would now like Hayden alternate head along with Sebastian Shaw. You know what I'd actually love to do is if they were to do, a rehash of the special editions, and that is, I'm happy with them to keep Hayden as the Force Ghost at the end of Return of the Jedi, but age him up. Like make him look like he's the 43-year-old man or the 40-odd-year-old man that died, as opposed to the young 20-something-year-old. I think that would just be the icing on the cake, because, Obi-Wan comes back as Obi-Wan. He doesn't appear like he did when he was, in his 30s and 40s. He was in his 50s, 60s. Yeah, I just think aging him up a little bit just so that his Force Ghost is the same age as when he died. I think that would just be a nice balance. Maybe even do a little bit of like a face blend with a little bit of Sebastian Shaw, so you're still paying that homage to him. But I don't know. I'm sure there's a way around it. I'd love for them to do that. I think that would be fantastic. Andor is August and Bad Batch. So August. So we're only like 6 or 8 weeks away from Andor. That's incredible. Wow. Oh, this year's just going crazy. This year has gone so fast. I can't keep up with it. It's ridiculous. So we're talking even September. I've no issue to do with the special editions. I've better access to the original cut. I couldn't agree with you more. Like it's a historical document. I think, we all know that they're not as Lucas intended, as he progressed through his life. Like I think, getting the original cuts, like pre-special editions out there, just as a historical document, just to sort of say these are the theatrical runs. I think just getting them out there is a no-brainer. I think they're mad not to. I think they'll get there eventually. I think they will. I think there's enough talk out there. I think we just need to keep hammering it, keep hammering the point. Get it out there. Just pester Disney. Give us the original cuts. We'll keep buying the special editions. Just let the people have their original cuts. They won't argue about it again. It'll just let it be done. Sure, they have a series around December, possibly Mandalorian, but I think they've said February for Mando. So bring in the new year with new Mandalorian. Curtis, what's up, brother? Is the Jedi Anthology series also out this year? Maybe. You might be right. Because that was only going to be a short little run, I think, of short episodes. It's possible. It's very possible. I'm not sure. There's just so much announcements from Celebration a month ago, and I just can't keep up with it. So, because I haven't been in the sort of space to be able to just put out videos and really research and put it all into it, my own thoughts. It's all just sort of jumbling around in my head. Missed the start of the stream. What are your thoughts? Dude, I watched it twice on the night. I cried both times. I felt as heartbroken as I did 17 years ago watching Revenge of the Sith in cinemas when, Obi-Wan was, screaming, Anakin, you're my brother, Anakin. I loved you. Like, that was the first time I ever cried in a cinema as a 17-year-old. Like, yeah, probably emotional teenager, hormones running wild. But that was the first time I really truly felt and remember feeling heartbroken. Like that cut me pretty deep, and it still does. Like that scene really does do that to me. But this episode, same characters, Obi-Wan and Vader, dueling it out, and the dialogue that's exchanged between them, that just completely shattered me, man. Like it just broke me down. I sobbed. And then, the end of the episode where you start seeing things with Leia and Luke, and that helped heal. That helped heal. And my heart felt full again afterwards at the end, after being completely cracked open and drained. It felt whole again. But I know every time I watch this episode, it's just going to kill me every time. Especially if I'm in the zone, like got to be in the zone to feel that sort of emotion. I was the other night when I was watching it. I was I drove home listening to the Revenge of the Sith score. And, it was 20-minute drive, but it was still, I sort of flicked through a few tracks and really got into like the Anakin versus Obi-Wan, Anakin's dark deeds, things like that. And those tracks just, got me to an emotional point where I was just like, okay, I need to sit down and watch this episode. I actually put headphones on so I could really hear it and listen to everything without any sort of background noise. And I just got in the zone, man. Like it was just, I was totally into it, and it broke me. It was just, I just felt so attached to it on an emotional level. I still do. Like I can't wait to get some time to watch it again over the weekend and just have a good sob. I'm a sensitive new age guy. New Star Wars Christmas special with the Mando cast. Oh my God, that would be terrible. Grogu like singing Christmas carols. Tem in the blue and yellow Fett armor would be pretty cool. It would. That'd be nice. That'd be really cool, actually. I like that they sort of were teasing that idea when they were doing that 13-13 game years ago. And it was meant to be Boba Fett. I'm pretty sure it was meant to be Boba Fett. He had Mandalorian armor, but it had like blue. It had some like touches of blue. And then they ended up using a lot of that for Mandalorian. But yeah, I think that'd be cool. See an evolution of like, I'd like to see if they're going to do more Book of Boba Fett. I'd like to see them go back and give us like Daniel Logan as Boba Fett, just post Clone Wars. He still sounds like he did when he was young. He hasn't aged badly at all. So I don't know. He spent a lot of time with his helmet on, but you get that continuity. I think that'd be cool. Oh man, not a dry eye in the house. I tell you, it was so good. It's interesting that some people feel the need to say that either Alec Guinness is their Obi-Wan or Ewan is their Obi-Wan. They're both Obi-Wan. Growing up with one doesn't diminish the enjoyment of the other. Exactly. I feel the same way. Obi-Wan is Obi-Wan. Just the only thing different is it's interesting because Ewan McGregor has done far more Obi-Wan Kenobi than Alec Guinness ever did. He spent so much more time with Ewan as Obi-Wan than we did with Alec Guinness. And again, not to diminish either of them. But yeah, I don't know. I don't see them as different people. Like they're both Obi-Wan Kenobi to me. It's one's just had the twin sons bashed on him over. See, obviously when Obi-Wan moves into his new hut up on the hill, he's obviously got a deck chair out there. He lays out in the sun. And, his hair gets gray. He starts losing it. He gets a haircut and he's got his lightsaber, gives himself a nice sort of trim. I'd love that. That'd be so good if I had a lightsaber at work to cut hair with. That'd be killer. I'd love to cut hair with a lightsaber. It would be done so much quicker. But you don't want to scalp anyone at the same time because they ain't growing back. Yeah, no, I agree 100%. Like, what's another one? Yeah, I can't think of any more examples, but it's like the young kid in this that plays Luke and Leia, the young kids that play Luke and Leia. Like, you can say, "Oh, it's not Mark Hamill." It's like, well, you can't de-age him that much. Come on. No, I truly love those two kids that were playing Luke and Leia in this series. I think they're just cast really, really well. I would have loved to have seen a little bit more Luke, but I think they showed enough. It was more about sort of Owen and Beru and how they're protecting their farm, protecting him. Whereas Leia, you sort of really get to know her as the young, headstrong girl that becomes a senator and, stirs the pot, stirs the entire galaxy big time. It's beautiful, man. I love that. I really do. And I think those kids nailed it. I don't know if we'll see any more of them at all at any point in the future, but if we do, make them bring them back. I think they did a really good job. Especially like Leia's delivery of that line, that "Will I ever see you again?" Like, that was just on par with Jake Lloyd's Anakin from episode 1 when he says to his mum, "Will I ever see you again?" The way it was delivered was just perfect, just on par, just completely matched. It was brilliant. If you could have any character or group of characters have their own Star Wars series, animated or live action, what would it be? Mine would be Knights of Ren animated series. You know what? Right now, after seeing what they've been able to do with the Obi-Wan Kenobi series and sort of stitch those two films together, I'd love to see a Luke Skywalker series, post Return of the Jedi, the fall of Kylo Ren, the fall of Ben Solo, the tragedy that happened there, to show that in the same way that they've just shown Obi-Wan Kenobi would strengthen the sequel trilogy so much and just fill in a big void. Like, that's like watching, watch the original trilogy with a couple of flashbacks, and it just doesn't hit as hard because we know about the prequels. We know what happens in the prequel trilogy. It strengthens that tragedy of Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader. So I think to show the fall of Ben Solo, everything that happened there at the temple, and Luke, finding out more, who's Snoke, why is he such a public figure, how did he get in Ben Solo's ear? I know there's a comic series about it. I don't care about the comic series. It was cool, but I don't think it's the end-all be-all. You can't have comics that take precedence over live action. It just can't. You can't have it like that. It's a cool comic. Push it aside. Do a cool story. Show it like an anthology of Luke and Ben training together. Show, the corruption of Snoke getting into Ben's ear via Palpatine. And I think we'll get there eventually, but what they're doing is building up that First Order now with the series with The Mandalorian. We're sort of seeing the Imperial Remnant. We're going to get, Grand Admiral Thrawn. That's all going to build up to July. The cloning of Emperor Snoke tank, the Snokes in the tank, all of that sort of stuff. It's building it all up and molding that story around that. And then you drop a Luke Skywalker story, 6 episodes, make it 6, 10 episodes, who cares? Just make the story awesome. Show Luke training Ben basically getting corrupted, from the day he was born, basically. Palpatine was in his head from the get-go. And that was his revenge against the rebellion. The people of the rebellion was, kidnapping children to join the First Order as stormtroopers. And then, just build that up. Make it awesome. And show the tragedy of, what caused, such a powerful, light-sided person in Ben Solo, the heart of gold of Han and the power of Leia in a kid, and sort of show that, really building up to, and then the tragic fall of Ben Solo to become Kylo Ren. And that would just, completely empower the sequels to be, feel like a fuller story, And I'm just sort of jabbering on a little bit now, but I think that needs to be sort of the master goal, I think, for the next five or so years. at Lucasfilm. I think it really needs to sort of build into that sequel trilogy a little bit more. And then you might find some more people finding a little bit of cohesion there in the storytelling and, growing to enjoy it a little bit more, a bit like the Clone Wars. 6, 7 seasons of the Clone Wars for 10 years. And that really strengthened the prequel trilogy after copying a lot of slack for a long time. And then you start getting to that point, 5, 6, 7 years down the track, you start finding that there's nostalgia with those movies as well. So I think it's good planning ahead to be able to do that. And I think we'll see it. I truly do think we'll see that. But yeah, Knights of Ren animated series, bring it on. That'd be cool. Tie that in with a Luke Skywalker live action series with Ben Solo. Now I'm going to get the last few little comments here and questions, and then we'll wrap it up nearly in an hour. So I appreciate everyone coming and hanging out again. I love it. Leia's actress is brilliant. She and Ewan really acted as well together. I think their chemistry was fantastic, and especially Ewan being a dad himself, he'd be able to completely embrace her as a child. Hello there, Darth Paul. That fight finale was amazing. Want that damaged Vader with Anakin's face peeking through in the Black Series ASAP. I want it in all the series, I want it in Vintage Collection. I want Hot Toy. Bring it all on. Would you like to see Shadows of the Empire made into a series? That'd be interesting, man. I'd like to see some of those elements. I don't think some of that doesn't really fit in anymore. It was cool when it came out. It was cool for a long time. Dash Rendar was just a proxy for Han Solo, but bring it in. Why not? Why not bring some of those characters in and tell a cool story in the middle of Empire and Jedi? Why not? I don't see a problem with it. I think that'd be pretty sweet. Bring in Prince Shizor and the Black Sun and all that crazy crap and his pheromones and, maybe just tone down on the rapiness a little bit because Shizor was a little bit full on throughout. I think it was the comic. He was a little bit more full on. But, some of that Shadows of the Empire stuff is just cool to revisit. So I wouldn't say no. If it's done right, done really cool, I could be there for it. Absolutely. That's a good one. There were some cool toys and stuff back then too, like the Outrider ship and the swoop bikes. Love that. Love to play that game again. All right, folks. Thank you all very much for coming and hanging out tonight on Obi-Wan Kenobi Mission Report. This is the last one, unless they do a season 2, which I don't think they will now. But I'll be back with some more live streams. We'll get back to the just the casual chats again. Hopefully, I can try and get them out once a week. That'd be awesome if I can get back into doing them again. Definitely for the next few months. But yeah, thank you all for hanging out. I'll leave it at that. And we'll see you on the next one. Appreciate you all tuning in. Much love to yous. And we'll see you very soon. May the force be with you, everyone.